Hey guys, so doing a little bit of work on the headlights. So these are your normal, average, high headlights. For these cars, they use 5.75, 5 and 3/4 size headlights. But what I really wanted to do was I wanted to change those out for these, and these are going to be LED. So this bar here, here, and here are all your low, and then this is your high with a white halo, and then these can also be your turn signals. So for this, I kind of just took the bucket, fit it in there nice and snug, and then put on the cover, and it holds in there actually pretty nicely. I just need one more screw to go in there. So what I was doing is taking the beauty rings, and here's the beauty ring. So these are the three that were left. Hit these with a little bit of an orange solvent. You can probably figure out the brand name for that. But I had these, so these are just going to sit out to dry. So the idea that I had when doing this car, when we were doing painting, I should have just removed these right off the bat, but I didn't. So what I had to do was tape it, and cheap me 5 years ago didn't use 3M or name brand tape. I just used cheap masking tape. So now looking at these with all the tape on them, there's actually residue left over on the rings. So using a little bit of orange cleaner, scrubbing it down with some gloves and some steel wool, took care of it, no problem, worked really well. So now that these are clean, I have the other trim ring to do, and then now I just have to insert the rest of the lights. One thing I know I'm going to have to do is on the highs, they're 2-prong because that's all you really need, but on these newer style, they're 3-prong. So I might have to do a little bit of wiring, but we'll have to get the alternator or the starter all wired up before I can even test the lights. All right, well, I made a mistake. It's kind of a big one. So I decided to cut this up because everything I saw online was, hey, cut it off. It'll fit nice and snug in there. Well, cut down to that, and the bucket used to look like that. Well, this trim piece still didn't fit. So that was pretty disappointing. But on the positive note, I actually bolted this one up completely different, and it's actually easier and more solid than it was to cut this bucket. Kind of disappointed because I don't know if I can buy another one of these. I'm gonna have to find one off a car, which sucks, especially because it was functioning, but I guess it wasn't the biggest of deals. This one was already pre-snapped in this position here. So overall it'll be okay, but I found a solution to our problem. So these were the normal screws that were factory from Mopar. So if I were to try and put that in there, there's not much room. And before, this metal beauty piece and this piece here go flush. Well, because of the backing on these, here, I'll even show you. So here's original back. Any type of light you buy, it might have 2, it might have 3. But the thing is, this is more of a dome. If you look at these LED style, it's fat. And because it's fat, these two pieces don't line up perfect. There's about finger width, maybe even a little bit bigger, a 1/4 of an inch probably. But instead of using the factory screws, what I did is I used their size 8, but these are 1.25 inches, sorry, 1.5 inches, so that when I put these in, I had enough. Well, I live in a small town. Hardware stores have like nothing, so I would have went with just a little bit longer than these. Really, maybe even like an 1/8 inch would have been enough. But at my local hardware store, that's all that these are. They're grade 8, but they're alloy zinc, I believe. So they're a lot longer than what they should have been. But here's the thing, it's in there rock solid. And because I'm still using the factory locations here, I can still adjust this to go up and down. So yeah, made a slight mistake. I think I can still make this work. I think because the reason why I cut this up is because this was already snapped when I took it off. It just rusted and broke off. So I was like, well, either I got to find a new one or I'll make this one work, test to make sure I'm doing this right or whatever. But I cut it, and now, you know, it's not going to sit the same as this one. So it's just easier to try and find out and go with one of those. So that's kind of where I'm at. But, you know, with the green and that black, and then I have the black grill, I'll show you in a little bit. I think these will look good. Here is the new headlights. You know, chrome trim. I could black this out. Maybe I might here. But they don't look too bad. Nice black in there with that nice front black grill. I think that'll look really good.